watch, and connect. Good day, everyone. This is Springzil Daniel, and welcome to OceanClick TV Live. We are on our fourth episode of our anniversary special, wherein we feature some of our valued clients. So, hosting with me today is once again OceanClick's co founder, CFO, and head of the video editing department, my very own partner, Lee Daniel. Hello, Lee.
Hello, Spring. Good day. Pleasant day to everyone who are watching on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Stay with us because we have a very special guest today.
That's right. We are very thrilled to have this person as our special guest for this episode. We have with us none other than the founder of Think Bigger Real Estate, Justin Stoddart. Hello, Justin.
Hey guys, really happy to be here. Thanks for the invitation.
And thank you for accepting our invitation. Now, I know Lee has prepared some questions for you, but before we go into that, let me introduce you a little bit more to all our audience. So, guys, as I mentioned, Justin is the CEO of Think Bigger Real Estate, which is a coaching and training company for the real estate industry. He's also the international best-selling author of the Upstream Model, Hidden Secrets to Building a Massive Referral Business While Crushing Big Tech Competitors. He's also the host of the Think Bigger Real Estate podcast, a family man, and a father to six amazing humans. Once again, let's welcome Justin Studdard.
Hey, thanks guys. It's fun. It's
And
fun.
I know you're a very busy person, but thank you for giving us some of your time. And so Lee has a few questions for you.
Sounds good.
Yes. All right. So, yeah, Justin, again, thank you for taking your time off to be here with us. So, I'm sure our audience are curious about your work. But before we go into that, may I ask what brought you to the world of real estate? What inspired you to venture into it?
I'll take you back 20 years. I was working a night job with a company called UPS. For those that are familiar with UPS, right? Package delivery company. And I was loading trucks in the middle of the night. And my stepmom was a real estate agent. And she said, "Hey, you need to come help us flip homes." So they would purchase a home, fix it up, and sell it. And it was amazing how I watched them make more money in 30 days than I would make in a whole year. And I thought, I'm doing something wrong here. And so I went back to college and I actually studied construction management. She piqued my interest enough through that process that I realized that there was a lot of value in real estate and I wanted to be a part of it. And so I got my degree in construction management. Simultaneously, I was working for a high end custom home builder, learned how to build custom homes, eventually left and started my own company building luxury custom homes. In that process, I realized that my passion really was not developing land or building homes, but it was developing people and building businesses. And so I pivoted after the big downturn in 2008, really seeking for a way that I could spend my career and really my life developing human beings, developing people, helping them to become better so that they could grow fantastic businesses. And I've was in the title and escrow industry for a little while and realized that I really wanted to serve real estate agents. Again, my dad and stepmom have been real estate agents, and I knew that that was the opportunity to really create, an entrepreneurial dream was in real estate. Yet it was very lonely. That there were a lot of needs and a lot of support that was needed to really create a successful real estate business. I'd seen it firsthand. I'd experienced it firsthand in my own business, and so that this really gave me the pathway to really focus on helping real estate agents again develop themselves so they can build a business that supports the life they ideally want.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I mean, as co-founder of OceanClick, uh, we also, help, people develop, and we train a lot of people, and so
Developing people,
developing
right? I
people.
mean,
Yeah. So
It's a
no
good
wonder
life. It's a good
Justin
business.
yeah.
is a father.
Yeah, we put a lot into developing people as well. So, yeah, and yeah, tell us tell us more about Think Bigger Real
Yeah,
Estate. So, tell us about how the company started and the story behind its success.
I appreciate it. Yeah. So when I was in the title and escrow world, I was working as an executive for a title company, which facilitates real estate transactions. And I was really looking for a unique way to get in conversation with my clients. And my clients were real estate agents. So I thought, you know what I need to do rather than trying to get them to sit down and have coffee with me, rather than having them sit down and hear about my business, what if I were to interview them? What if I were to build a platform, a podcast that would give me the opportunity to invite those people who I wanted to be in business with into my world? I could interview them, build a relationship with them, and eventually turn that into business. And in the process of doing that, I realized that that was really my passion was really being around big thinkers, being around people who were thinking big and were doing really cool things. And my co-host at the time recommended the name of the show. He said, "Why don't we call it the Think Bigger Mastermind?" And I was like, "Oh my goodness, I love that." And over time, I tweaked it to be more specific to the real estate industry, and grateful that I did again because that's the audience that I serve. So again, it really started off as kind of an innovative way to be in conversations with my clients that then turned into much more than that. It turned into a passion project in which I was interviewing people for a couple of reasons. Number one, I was interviewing them because I was just curious to learn from them. It really became a way for me to build a great network, and it really became a way for me to really grow myself. And once it became more of a passion project, then I realized, like, how do I do this as a career? How do I really monetize this? And was able at that point to really realize that the things that I was learning on the show and through the show, agents needed help. My audience needed help implementing those ideas, and so that's where the coaching program and the authorship of the book came about. Was just assessing the needs of the industry and of the market, and finding a way to really deliver that through a unique coaching offering.
And that's really it, right? When you want to develop people, developing people
Mm.
here, this is kind of like the term for today, I guess. And then it's your passion. It's so easy to do what you do.
Yeah,
Like,
makes it really fun, doesn't it, Spring?
yes, absolutely. So that's also one of the reasons actually why we're doing this podcast as well. And that's why I'm very grateful that you accepted our invitation because we do want to learn from you as well. So hopefully our audience today would be learning something. So guys, if you have questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section and hopefully we'll have time to answer those questions at the end of um, our session today. Lee, you have other questions?
Yeah. What were some of the challenges that you faced running your business? I know everybody has, sees the success, but nobody really sees the struggle behind every success. So I was wondering, what were the challenges that you faced
Yeah.
running your business?
If I could use a metaphor that many will understand, that each figurative hat that you wear is a full-time job. And as a business owner, you have about 10 of them. And you just get to a point where you almost feel overwhelmed. And I know when I left to start Think Bigger Real Estate, I was excited. I knew from day one that this is what I was supposed to be doing. It was more of a calling than anything else. It was more, this is my life's work. And from that, I really realized that um, like this is where I'm supposed to be, but how do I do it in a way to where I don't neglect the people who are my family, the people who I love the most, people who I'm doing this for? How do I do it in a way that doesn't completely take away from, from my big why, from my purpose in life, which is to be a great dad and a great husband.
Yeah, I can relate to that. Wearing many
Lee is
hats,
taking
and
notes.
I'm definitely taking notes. All right, now tell us more about your book, The Upstream Model: Hidden Secrets to Building a Massive Referral Business While Crushing Big Tech Competitors. What's
Yeah.
the inspiration behind it?
Yeah, really the premise behind the book is that warm referrals are better than cold leads. The only challenge is we run out of warm referrals. If the phone were always ringing with warm referrals saying, "Hey, will you work with me?" We wouldn't have need to prospect, wouldn't have need to pay for leads, we wouldn't have need to do any of that. But the reality is most oftentimes our goals are here and our warm referrals turn off here. And we're left with a gap of, well, I guess I could settle and lower my goals. But people like us three, we don't like to do that, do we? We don't want to settle our
Hmm.
goal. We don't want to lower our goals. Instead, we want to figure out how to close that gap. Well, most oftentimes, what people are taught is to prospect and do cold marketing stuff to fill that gap. Well, the upstream model teaches that rather than chasing cold leads, to lean into not just referrals from your friends and your clients, but to go find professionals who are upstream from you, upstream from your business. So, for example, at the time I was a home builder and an architect was upstream from me. In other words, they were touching my future clients, right? They had a relationship with my future clients, and if I could add enough value to that architect, I could get an introduction to all of his clients. And
Hmm.
so in every industry, we can ask ourselves the question of who do I want to be in business with, and who is the business that is already in relationship with those people. And once we identify that, then we can go see how to add big value to that business. And instead of having to chase onesie, twosie leads, we can add value to one lead, one referral source, which is
Hmm.
that upstream partner, and they open the door to lots and lots and lots of business.
Wow. It's very that's very enlightening because we also deal with with sales and getting warm leads, and yeah, exactly what you're saying, closing that gap between warm leads and
Your
uh,
goals.
your goals. Yeah.
I
and
mean,
um,
I think of
and
how I met. I mean, how I met you guys, right? Is that
yeah.
Jesse,
Hmm.
right? Who said, "Here's who you go to," and I've given your name to how many more people? James Adair probably reached out to you recently, right? He's a
Yeah.
friend of mine
Hmm.
who said, "Hey, I love your stuff. It looks good. Who are you using? Go here,"
Hmm.
right? So you guys go find successful business owners like a Jesse and add big value to him just as you have. And Jesse just sends you business all the time, right? So that's the same principle you guys have used to build your great company. It's how many great companies grow quickly is by leveraging those influential centers of influence.
Exactly. So, yeah, speaking of Jesse and the work that we do, let's talk about your social media platforms and your YouTube channel. Lee,
Yeah. How important is an active and dynamic social media, YouTube movement to your business, and what are the challenges you faced handling them?
Yeah, I think it's essential in today's world. I was told probably 7 years ago, I think it was Gary Vaynerchuk at one point who said, ABC, CBS, and NBC today are YouTube, Google, and Facebook, right? Like
Yeah.
like
yeah,
the old players are being replaced, and this was before they've taken on their prominent role in the world today. And I think that's true, and I think there's different players now, right? But I think having a presence online is a great warming strategy. If we want to work with warm referrals, people that already feel like they know us, we can be doing that not just through getting warm referrals from other people, but by people watching our content on a consistent basis. They feel like they know us. In fact, at times they even feel like they want to know us, almost like there's this kind of celebrity factor of, oh my goodness, I've been watching your videos for a long time. I really enjoy them.
Hmm.
Uh, and so being present there, I think for any business that wants to be relevant moving forward, starting today, moving forward, maybe starting yesterday, moving forward, you have to have a presence online. The challenge is that we all run into is the exact problem I face is that one of those hats, if not two of those hats, of the 10 hats that we have to be wearing, is a very time consuming. How do I create my own media? How do I do this? How do I pull this off? And so that's really where you guys have come in. And I might be jumping ahead here, but that's exactly where you
Mhm,
guys
yep.
have come in. Is that
Go ahead.
yeah, go go go, buddy. Um, don't slow them down here. That's exactly where you've come in. Is that I realize that this is necessary. Yet if I spent my whole day doing content, there would be no business. I would be a really bad customer because I'd only be around for a few weeks, right? Because I have to be out getting new customers. I have to be leading my existing team. I have to be servicing my existing customers at a high level. And although content and content creation is an essential part of it, it can't be all of it, right? Unless you're Mr. Beast and make millions of dollars just from your content, which I'm not. Then you have to. It has to be a part of it, and it can't be janky. It can't be poor. It has to be professional. And so uh, that's been a critical part for me is realizing that number one, it needs to happen, but it doesn't necessarily need to be me that makes it all happen. There's people that are way better at it than I am that I can bring in to help me, right? To help me to do it better than I could on my own.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
and
that's
sorry.
Lee's department.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of having a great team. I mean, same actually here with us. We have a big team here, and we really have to learn. I myself have to learn to let go of some hats and to focus on the more important things because yeah, at some point you really have to say, hey, okay, I can't do this anymore. I've got more important things, and yeah, I've just have other people do it, and I guess it's the same with you, and
Yeah.
that's why yeah, where OceanClick comes in,
Mhm.
taking over social media, taking over YouTube, and so you can focus on the more important stuff. So yeah. By the way, guys, I think we posted the link on of Justin's YouTube channel in the comments section. So
Yes,
please
we
check
will
it out.
be posting that. Of course, Justin already has his audience base, but just in case you're watching this, we'll be posting this video as well through all our social media channels, LinkedIn, Facebook, and of course our YouTube channel. But just in case you guys are interested to know more about Justin, what he does, and developing people, helping out, especially in the real estate industry, feel free to check his YouTube channel in our comment section. We'll be posting the links to his YouTube channel. So yeah, we do have some questions from our audience. Um, but let me check here. We do have one who's asking his Ayodechi. I'm not so sure how to pronounce that. From LinkedIn, he's asking, what will it cost me to be developed?
um, it depends, right? I don't. I have kind of private consultations with professionals to see what it is that they're looking for and if we're a match, right? If the services that we offer are actually a fit for what it is specifically that that they're looking to do, and yeah, then we kind of have that conversation. But it's I always say this. I say I don't see it as an expense. It's not a cost. It's an investment. And if I can't produce it a positive ROI, then I offer guarantees around our work, right? So for anybody that's listening, it's like, how much does it cost me? It's the wrong question. I encourage you to think better, to think different about it. And what does it cost me to not be developed? How much is it costing me to not have this help? Because that's a real cost. There is a cost, for real estate agents. It can be upwards of thousands to tens of thousands of dollars a month to not have the right systems and not have the right development in place because of the missed opportunities. The opportunity cost of not being developed can be very expensive, whereas the investment to be sure that you don't experience those opportunity costs can be returned and repaid very quickly. So, good question.
Awesome. And another question here is from Selena. Is there a specific requirement or a license for someone to be a real estate coach?
There's not. There's in the United States where I'm at. there is a license needed to practice real estate, right? To sell real estate,
Yes.
but to be a real estate coach, there's not. We're very specific about who we bring in, and we kind of very similar to maybe how OceanClick works. We don't hire generalists; we hire
Mm-hmm.
specialists, people
Yeah.
that can step in and do very specific things inside of a real estate agent's business to help them get a very specific result. So that's more like they're hiring a team and they are hiring an individual coach. And so we're
Mm-hmm.
looking for people that have extraordinary skill sets around a specialty, but then our clients get to access that specialty as part of being in business with us.
Hmm. I see. That's thank you for explaining that, because that's really also why we work as a team, because it's
Mhm.
so difficult to be a specialist in everything.
Totally.
S-
Yeah, you're not, right? You're a generalist. Yeah,
yeah, like we say we're virtual solutions, but can you really be a specialist in everything virtual solutions? That's for us. So that's why we have to hire a team that has different skill sets, just as
Mhm.
what you've explained. Okay. So there's another question. Lee, would you like to read some of the questions here?
Let me just scroll down.
Mm,
How do you think bigger? I see that one.
yes.
How do you think bigger?
Yeah, it's a great question. This is something I ask at the end of each and every one of my episodes.
Mm,
Is what
yeah.
is it that you do to continue to be a big thinker, to continue to expand your possibilities? So it's fun to be on the other side of this question. Um, there's an easy answer, and then there's a more difficult answer. So I'll start with the easy one. And take it easy on everybody. Easy answer is simply take a look, do an audit of the 5 people with whom you spend the most time. And are they
Yes.
stretching you to think bigger? If they're
Mm,
not, then I would encourage you slowly, carefully, politely start to spend less time with them and more time with people who do stretch you, who, when you're around them, you start to think about possibilities, not about nitpicky problems and pessimism about the world, right? You start to look at
yes.
vision and opportunity, then you're in the right company. So that's the easy one, is start to take a look at who am I surrounding myself with? What are the conversations that I am immersed in? And are they elevating me or are they pulling me down? The second one is very intentionally expose yourself to difficult situations.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, my son and I, in at the end of mid-June, I guess, right when he got out of school, we did what was called the Goggins Challenge. And the
Okay.
Goggins Challenge is where you run 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours straight. It was brutal.
Wow.
Um,
It sounds brutal.
and it was very hard. But I'll tell you, from doing hard things, you develop yourself.
Mm,
It's very difficult to develop yourself if you don't expose yourself to to difficult circumstances, whether it be physically, emotionally. Like we have to get outside of our comfort zone in order
mhm.
to experience the growth that we need to develop the business that we want. So it's do hard things. As much as nobody wants to hear that, that's the truth.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you're already exposing your son to that, hopefully developing habits of exposing oneself to these
Yeah.
challenges outside of the comfort zone. So for us, even like, I know doing interviews for me is within my comfort zone, but I don't think that's within Lee's comfort zone, because that's not what his background is. But here he is.
Good job,
So.
Lee. Way to do it,
Yeah,
buddy.
thanks. Now, when you mentioned surrounding yourself with the people, with 5 people, it reminds me of a podcast that I listened to. That yeah, you are the person that with the people that you surround yourself with. So
Mhm.
if your goal is yeah, you want to be rich, just surround yourself with 5 rich people. If
Mhm.
you want to be fit, surround yourself with fit people. So so that really struck me, and I'll always keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So I have a
I
question.
yeah, go ahead, Lee.
Yeah, I have a question, and this is actually also yeah, because I am a father of 3. So as a father of 6, how do you maintain a work-life balance or a family balance?
I'm thinking there would be a lot of interest with a lot of different individuals with hobbies and interests. So how do you balance all that? I mean, we have three, but you have six.
Yeah. I don't know that I'm great at it, but I try hard because I love my kids and I want to be around them. And I've just had to create boundaries for myself. So I get up early. I'm up before 5 o'clock every day. And in doing so, I'm able to get more work done while they're sleeping. So then in the evening, I can do my very best to be present with them and for them. Um, I work from home now. I didn't used to work from home. And during COVID, it was forced upon me. And once I got here, I thought I'm not going to drive to an office. Right? That was just for me, right? That gave me some more work life balance. And just when I'm with them, really working to be actually with them, putting the phone down. And they'll be the first to admit I've got a long ways to go in this area. But I do know that when I'm at my best self, it's not just a matter of time, it's a matter of quality time. It's a matter of really listening and looking in their eyes and just having a grateful heart that I get to be their dad. So,
Oh, I can imagine that's how I feel about being a mother as well. But sometimes it gets a little bit like you feel like you're a little bit stretched out, especially like for me, for example, my kids have different interests. My son's in karate and my daughter is in ballet, and the other one is just starting to discover what she wants to do. So I can imagine your kids have different interests. So how are you able to support all those different interests or hobbies that they have?
yeah, it's hard, right? That's tricky. We try and batch them, meaning we'll have okay, it's swimming season, okay, it's track season, okay, it's dance season. Just because we there's only two of us, right? My oldest daughter isn't driving yet. Um, Once that happens, it'll be a little more helpful. But yeah, it's just we just have to make decisions, and I think back to a metaphor that many of us have heard before about putting the big rocks in first. There's certain things to us that matter more than other things. Our spiritual life is very important to us. We're very active members of our faith and our church, and so being really ensuring that all of those activities are first. Right behind that are family, like actual real family time, whether it be time together in the evenings, family dinner, family prayer, family scripture study. Those are the big rocks. Even fun together, family trips. Those go in first, and then we start to fit in everything else. And if a certain activity doesn't fit around, if one of those activities says we've got to do stuff on Sunday when normally we'd be at church, then we don't do that activity. And so it's a matter of prioritizing of what matters most to you, and then start with that, put that in the calendar. Okay, then now what matters most to us after that, put that in the calendar, and just keep going down, and you'll find that you can't fit it all and you have to make decisions, but at least you made decisions intentionally and based on what matters most to you, because if not, you'll end up filling it up, and you won't live an intentional, purposeful life.
There you go. So that's how we fill our calendars with what is most important first. Okay, so before we do end this session, I love it because we're ending in a high note. But I do want to know because I can imagine that your children and your faith and your passion are things that help inspired you in writing your book, because we do have a question here. It's from Marcia, and she's asking, what inspires you to write your own book? I want to end with that.
I didn't learn this until after the fact. They said, but if you want to you want to build a legacy, have a child, plant a tree, and or write a book. um, and we've had
Okay.
plenty of children, so that part was taken care of. I've probably planted a tree. I don't know that I'm an arborist. I don't know that I'm a tree enthusiast or a really good at that. But that's something that stuck with me after the fact. And I think for me, what inspired me to write a book is that I realized that I had something to offer that was only getting out to a very small audience. It was my customer base previously. I thought I want to live a bigger life, and I know that the way to do that, to offer more opportunities to my children, more opportunities to me, is to simply serve more people. And what's a way that I can do that? Well, it's to take what I know and it's to put it in a book that can have a wider reach and a wider audience. And so I think that's ultimately what inspired it. Not the first comment about kind of leaving a legacy. I learned that after the fact, but at the time it was I really want to live a bigger life, and I want to, and I know that the pathway to do that is to simply help more people, and that was a way for me to reach more people.
Awesome. And thank you so much, Justin. I believe we learned a lot from you today, from real estate to business to thinking bigger to being a father to being just a lot. So
Thank
it's
you,
very inspirational despite the short time that we have for today's interview with you. So we wish you all the best.
thank you so
Um,
much for the opportunity, and for all your great service. Your team is just absolutely amazing. I love them. They're like
Thank you
family.
so much. I believe they would be very happy to hear that, especially
Mhm.
for our second anniversary, because we'll be playing some of those videos to them during
Love
our
it. Thank you all.
yes. Thank you. So, to all our audience, thank you. And we hope that you learned something from this episode. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us if you have any questions or inquiries. You may contact us through the different social media platforms that we have. Just search for OceanClick Virtual Solutions or OceanClick VS on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And you can also book an appointment with us through our website, which is oceanclick.biz. And also, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is OceanClick TV. And lastly, please don't miss our next episodes of this anniversary special. And this has been Springzil Daniel and Lee Daniel together with Justin Stoddart. And this is OceanClick TV. Click, watch, and connect. See you guys.